Florida Administrative Code Rule 61G 4.12 defines electrical work. Electrical work encompasses any work or labor connected with firstly, generating, transmitting, distributing, or utilizing electrical energy, secondly, designing, installing, repairing, altering, or maintaining electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, motors, or other electrical devices, and thirdly, erecting, installing, repairing, extending, altering, or maintaining poles, lines, conduits, duct lines, or any part thereof. Understanding the distinction between an employee leasing company and a temporary employment agency is crucial in Florida's electrical contracting landscape. An employee leasing company provides payroll, benefits, and other administrative services to workers who are legally employed by the leasing company but assigned to clients. In contrast, a temporary employment agency hires workers on a temporary basis and assigns them to clients for specific tasks. The Florida Electrical Contractors Licensing Board, or ICL, has specific requirements regarding the use of these types of companies. A licensed electrical contractor in Florida may use a properly licensed employee leasing company to perform electrical work. The rationale behind this allowance is that the leased workers are considered employees of the leasing company, not the electrical contractor. However, the ICL prohibits electrical contractors from using temporary employment agencies to perform electrical work. This prohibition stems from the fact that temporary employment agencies typically do not provide the same level of payroll, benefits, and administrative support as employee leasing companies. As a result, the workers assigned by temporary employment agencies are considered employees of the agency, not the electrical contractor. Insurance companies may view the use of temporary employment agencies as an indication of a lack of control over the electrical work being performed. This perception could lead to adverse consequences, such as denied claims or increased premiums. By utilizing a licensed employee leasing company, electrical contractors can demonstrate their compliance with the regulations and potentially mitigate their insurance risks. Therefore, the proper classification and utilization of labor resources are essential for electrical contractors in Florida to adhere to legal requirements and manage insurance liabilities effectively. It is imperative to maintain compliance with the Florida Administrative Code and the ICL guidelines to ensure smooth operations and avoid potential legal and financial repercussions. Engaging a licensed employee leasing company ensures that workers are properly classified as employees of the leasing company, providing the necessary payroll, benefits, and administrative support required by law. This arrangement allows the electrical contractor to focus on their core business activities while maintaining compliance with labor regulations. Conversely, using a temporary employment agency could expose the electrical contractor to legal and insurance risks, as the workers are considered employees of the agency and not the contractor. This could lead to potential liability issues and increased insurance premiums due to the perceived lack of control over the electrical work being performed. Therefore, electrical contractors in Florida should carefully evaluate their labor needs and choose the appropriate type of labor resource to ensure compliance with ICL regulations and minimize potential risks. The decision to use an employee leasing company or a temporary employment agency should be based on a thorough understanding of the legal requirements and the potential implications for insurance coverage and liability. Furthermore, it is essential to verify that any employee leasing company used by an electrical contractor is properly licensed and compliant with all applicable laws and regulations. This verification process can help ensure that the contractor is working with a reputable and reliable partner who can provide the necessary support and protection. In conclusion, understanding the definition of electrical work in Florida and the regulations governing the use of employee leasing companies and temporary employment agencies is crucial for electrical contractors. By adhering to these regulations and choosing the appropriate labor resources, contractors can minimize their legal and insurance risks while maintaining compliance with the law. Remember that electrical work encompasses a broad range of activities, including generating, transmitting, distributing, or utilizing electrical energy, designing, installing, repairing, altering, or maintaining electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, motors, or other electrical devices, and erecting, installing, repairing, extending, altering, or maintaining poles, lines, conduits, duct lines, or any part thereof. The distinction between employee leasing companies and temporary employment agencies lies in the provision of payroll, benefits, and administrative services. Employee leasing companies provide these services to workers who are legally employed by the leasing company, while temporary employment agencies hire workers on a temporary basis and assign them to clients for specific tasks. The ICB allows electrical contractors to use properly licensed employee leasing companies because the leased workers are considered employees of the leasing company. However, the ICB prohibits the use of temporary employment agencies because the workers are considered employees of the agency, and this arrangement may indicate a lack of control over the electrical work being performed. Insurance companies may view the use of temporary employment agencies negatively, potentially leading to denied claims or increased premiums. By utilizing a licensed employee leasing company, electrical contractors can demonstrate compliance with the ICB regulations and potentially reduce their insurance risks. It's critical to emphasize the importance of due diligence when engaging any labor provider. Electrical contractors should thoroughly vet potential employee leasing companies, ensuring they possess the necessary licenses, insurance, and a proven track record of compliance with all relevant labor laws and regulations. This vetting process should include verifying the company's workers' compensation coverage, unemployment insurance contributions, and adherence to wage and hour laws. Additionally, contractors should inquire about the leasing company's employee screening and training procedures to ensure that the workers assigned to their projects are qualified and competent to perform the required electrical work safely and effectively. Neglecting to conduct proper due diligence can expose electrical contractors to significant legal and financial risks, including liability for worker injuries, wage and hour violations, and other employment-related claims. Furthermore, it's essential for electrical contractors to maintain clear and comprehensive records of all labor arrangements, including contracts with employee leasing companies and documentation of worker qualifications, training, and safety certifications. These records can serve as evidence of compliance with ICB regulations and can be invaluable in the event of an audit or investigation. In addition to understanding the legal and regulatory framework surrounding employee leasing and temporary employment agencies, electrical contractors should also be aware of the ethical considerations involved in these arrangements. It's crucial to treat all workers with fairness and respect, regardless of their employment status. This includes providing a safe working environment, paying fair wages, and ensuring that workers have access to the same opportunities for training and advancement as direct employees. By upholding these ethical standards, electrical contractors can foster a positive and productive work environment, attract and retain skilled workers, and build a reputation for integrity and professionalism. Moreover, electrical contractors should stay informed about any changes or updates to the laws and regulations governing employee leasing and temporary employment agencies. The legal landscape in this area is constantly evolving, and it's essential to remain current to ensure ongoing compliance. Contractors can stay informed by attending industry conferences, subscribing to relevant publications, and consulting with legal and insurance professionals. In summary, the proper utilization of labor resources is a critical aspect of electrical contracting in Florida. By understanding the definition of electrical work, adhering to ICB regulations regarding employee leasing and temporary employment agencies, conducting thorough due diligence on labor providers, maintaining comprehensive records, upholding ethical standards, and staying informed about legal and regulatory changes, electrical contractors can mitigate their risks, ensure compliance, and build a successful and sustainable business. Furthermore, the ICB may conduct audits or investigations to ensure that electrical contractors are complying with the regulations regarding employee leasing and temporary employment agencies. Contractors should be prepared to provide documentation and information to the ICB upon request. Failure to comply with the ICB regulations can result in disciplinary action, including fines, suspension of license, or revocation of license. Therefore, it is essential for electrical contractors to take these regulations seriously and to implement policies and procedures to ensure compliance. Additionally, electrical contractors should consult with legal and insurance professionals to ensure that they are fully protected and compliant with all applicable laws and regulations. The cost of compliance is far less than the cost of non-compliance, which can include legal fees, fines, and damage to reputation. In addition to the above, electrical contractors should be aware of the potential for misclassification of employees. Misclassification occurs when an employer incorrectly classifies an employee as an independent contractor. This can have significant legal and financial consequences, as employers are required to pay payroll taxes and provide benefits for employees, but not for independent contractors. The Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, has specific guidelines for determining whether a worker is an employee or an independent contractor. These guidelines focus on the degree of control that the employer has over the worker. If the employer has the right to control not only what work is done, but also how it is done, the worker is likely an employee. Electrical contractors should carefully consider the IRS guidelines when classifying workers and should consult with legal and tax professionals to ensure that they are properly classifying their workers. Misclassification of employees can result in significant penalties, including back taxes, interest, and fines. The penalties for misclassification can be substantial and can have a significant impact on the financial health of the electrical contracting business. Moreover, misclassification can also expose the electrical contractor to legal claims from the misclassified worker, such as claims for unpaid wages, benefits, and overtime. To avoid misclassification, electrical contractors should carefully review their relationships with their workers and should ensure that they are properly classifying them based on the IRS guidelines. Contractors should also consult with legal and tax professionals to ensure that they are in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. In addition to the legal and financial risks associated with misclassification, there are also ethical considerations. It is unethical to misclassify workers in order to avoid paying payroll taxes and providing benefits. Misclassification deprives workers of the protections and benefits that they are entitled to as employees. Ethical electrical contractors should ensure that they are properly classifying their workers and treating them fairly. By doing so, they can build a positive reputation and attract and retain skilled workers. Finally, it's crucial for electrical contractors to recognize that the rules and regulations governing employee leasing, temporary employment agencies, and worker classification are subject to change. Therefore, it's essential to stay informed about any updates or amendments to these laws and to adjust their practices accordingly. Contractors should regularly review their policies and procedures to ensure that they remain in compliance with the latest legal requirements. They should also seek guidance from legal and insurance professionals to help them navigate the complex legal landscape and to minimize their risks. By staying informed and proactive, electrical contractors can protect their businesses from legal and financial liabilities and can maintain a reputation for integrity and professionalism. In conclusion, navigating the complexities of labor laws and regulations is a critical aspect of running a successful electrical contracting business in Florida. By understanding the definition of electrical work, adhering to regulations regarding employee leasing and temporary employment agencies, conducting thorough due diligence on labor providers, maintaining comprehensive records, upholding ethical standards, staying informed about legal and regulatory changes, and avoiding misclassification of employees, electrical contractors can mitigate their risks, ensure compliance, and build a thriving enterprise. Remember that the legal landscape is constantly evolving, and it's essential to remain vigilant and proactive in order to stay ahead of the curve. Seek guidance from legal and insurance professionals, attend industry conferences, and subscribe to relevant publications to stay informed about the latest developments. By doing so, you can protect your business from legal and financial liabilities and can maintain a reputation for integrity and professionalism. Ultimately, the key to success in electrical contracting is to combine technical expertise with sound business practices and a commitment to ethical behavior. By adhering to these principles, you can build a sustainable and profitable business that benefits both your employees and your customers.